Well, thank you, and welcome to the 20th anniversary celebration for the Computer Science Department here at Carthage. As many of you know, maybe everyone, my name is Mark Mahoney, and I've been teaching in the Computer Science Department since 2002, and it's actually a great honor to follow Charlotte Shell. Charlotte, 2002, you took, I think, a really big chance on me, and I would say this is true of Erwin too, and I hope that gamble paid off.
It did.
So I'm so thrilled to see former students at this event. We faculty love hearing what you have been up to and hearing how you've grown in your careers and as human beings. And I can't help but take some pride in all of your accomplishments, even though my contribution could probably best be described as providing a little bit of encouragement and sharing the excitement I have and my love of computing. And when you think of me all these years later, that's what I hope you remember. Okay, so I was going to talk a little bit about the history of the department, but I think I will skip most of that since Charlotte did. Charlotte, you're very hard to follow. I don't know. Let me skip ahead here. Yes, so in 2002, I was hired to replace John McGrew, and then a few years after that, the flow of CS majors started to graduate from Carthage. In 2015, we hired Perry Kowalowitz, who brought some much needed complementary skills to the department. And this year we were lucky enough to hire Rick Bingen, a Carthage grad. And along the way we've had a lot of help from other people, such as another Carthage grad, Sarah Jensen. Okay, so that's what Charlotte talked about the history, what I talked about the history. So you sort of get a sense of how we came to be and where we are now, but that's not really what I want to focus on tonight. So what I think we should be celebrating are the achievements of the first 20 years of Carthage CS graduates. So a few weeks back I asked several former students to send me just a summary of some of the things they've done in their career so far. And I picked a few that I'd like to read. I actually got many responses, and I had a great time looking at all of them. But I'm not going to read all of them. I'll just pick 3 here. So the first student said, after Carthage, I started as a programmer for a financial institution, working on developing automation solutions. I went on to get my master's degree in information security and landed an internship and then a contract position with the United States Coast Guard as a cybersecurity database analyst. After about a year with the Coast Guard, I started a position with the Defense Intelligence Agency as an IT engineer, overseeing their DevOps program, working on an enterprise platform solution, and I'm now part of the Technical Leadership Council, helping determine the future technological implementations for the agency. Another student wrote, after graduation, I started as a software engineer at a medical device company. I worked on a drug library management application as well as a hospital server messaging system that infusion pumps can connect to. I've also worked on and or created tools that we use internally. I've now worked there for 3 years. And then last one, I started as a web developer for a small software company that built shopping cart software. I worked on the entire technology stack, which has given me a wide range of experience, including builds, deployments, and operations. After a few years, I earned a master's degree and moved across the country and started working as a software engineer for a leading shipping technology company that processed several million transactions daily. I helped grow the company from 50 to 260 employees and managed the core part of the engineering team. Now I manage IT infrastructure and software for an organization going through a digital transformation. So I was, again, really excited to hear all of these stories. Carthage CS graduates work in many industries like healthcare, construction, banking, insurance, defense, law enforcement, and many more. They work at companies like Google, Epic, AbbVie, Allstate, John Deere, VMware, Discord, and many more. And there are some trends that I had picked up from looking at all these responses. So I heard many stories about our graduates growing into technical leadership roles. I heard stories about graduates who became software consultants and open source contributors. I heard stories about graduates who moved to Silicon Valley to work at a startup, and I heard stories about graduates who became entrepreneurs and started their own companies. I heard stories about grads who went on to earn master's degrees and PhDs. So I'm so glad that our students are making a positive contribution to the world, and at least in part due to the education they received here at Carthage. So I also asked some of these students if they had a favorite memory of their time here at Carthage, and I'll just go over a couple responses here. So the first student said, I always enjoyed working as a computer science tutor, and specifically I enjoyed helping out students that were struggling and guiding them towards understanding the material. There were times when I would walk into the computer lab on the second floor of Strauss during my off hours, and I would quickly get a line forming with students asking for CS help. I would end up gathering them all in a group and working through problems on the whiteboard. It was really enjoyable. That person may be here tonight. So we have actually a great tradition, I think, of having very helpful tutors and SIs. If you were a tutor or an SI, would you raise your hand? Mike, I didn't ask you.
I don't remember.
You would have been great, Mike.
You're welcome to come back.
Yes, we need you, please. Another student said, I think the most fond memories I had while being a CS major was the barbecues. They helped me immensely with my projects, and I found I got a lot closer with my peers through spending more time with them outside of the normal class hours. So if you don't know what a computer science barbecue is, you need to introduce yourself to Perry Kowalowitz, and he'll tell you what that means. Another student said, some of my favorite memories of Carthage CS, we had some great times working in the lab, but the best night was when we got kicked out of the lab. We went to the dorm bathroom with whiteboard markers and finished our project that night. I assume the bathroom choice was because of the mirror, at least I hope. Another one, in the software development class, you, talking about me, would always speak about wearing your customer hat, but you never had one. So a few of us chipped in and bought you a customer hat for you to wear. So this is actually a baseball cap that just says customer. And this is one of my prized possessions. I still have it in my office, and I encourage everyone sometime this weekend, if you're walking by, if you take a look inside my window, you'll see my customer hat there. Another one. So I found myself in Professor Wheeler's office working with him through my final days at Carthage. It was one of the best experiences I had. I learned a great deal from his one-on-one class. I was even given the opportunity to have dinner with him and his family, and I developed a relationship that I never could have foreseen. Let's see here. Last one. I have a fond memory of being stuck on a problem in the old CS lab, doubting my place in the profession. A professor who shall remain unnamed stopped by and helped me think about the problem in a different way, which ultimately led to a solution, and it's created a long-lasting memory and invaluable lesson that I practice every day. So tonight is about celebrating what I am calling the first generation of Carthage CS students. And it would be a great privilege for me to help with the second generation of Carthage students as well. So before I wrap up, I would like to just offer a little bit of advice for this first generation of CS grads. So in your personal and professional lives, please strive to be a welcoming and inclusive presence. So I can say from personal experience that guiding someone along a path of growth provides almost as much benefit to you as it does the person you're helping. So this can mean teaching some less experienced developers on your team. It can mean helping newly hired colleagues fit in with the team. And it can mean defaulting to kindness in all of your interactions with others. So I'd like to conclude by saying how much my students have meant to me over the last 17 years. I am truly honored to be introduced to a new group of students every year who trust me and my colleagues to help them on this journey to learn about computer science. I feel immense pride in seeing my students grow while on campus and hearing about the successes you've had in life after Carthage. And I would ask that you keep us all updated every once in a while about what's going on in your life. We want to hear all the good things. We want to hear the bad things and how you overcame them. And we want to continue to be part of this journey. So I feel like I should ask if there are any questions, but that's not what I should. But thank you.
Excellent.